You know, I am currently reflecting on a very strange and peculiar thing that we have now entered a specific stage where a truly elite club of suicide empires has finally formed.
I see.
That's the stage the world has entered. Because that phrase by Toynbee about how civilizations are rarely killed, they're hard to kill, but they end their lives by suicide. I've been recalling it more and more often lately, and I'm starting to realize that the suicide of the USSR, which, well, was a suicide to one degree or another, it only opened. We had an era of great funerals, right? Remember those general secretaries?
Yes.
It turned out that this opened an era of great imperial suicides. So, first of all, it all initially started with the powerful USSR, which, well, everything seemed to start so beautifully at first, but eventually ended in complete and total chaos. Next, for us to consider, the very next one in line was the historic Great British Empire with its complicated departure known as Brexit. I was listening to Starmer's speech yesterday, or rather the day before, where he says, well, we need to reconnect with Europe again, given the complicating relations with America, the changing world, and the need for security. Britain needs to strengthen its ties with Europe in every way, both economically and politically. I'm just sitting here today thinking to myself, dear Lord, where were you all those 10 very long years ago? Who was it that shot themselves in the foot? And yet the process is only just beginning, you see? It is my firm and unwavering conviction that at some point in the near or foreseeable future, a clear and direct connection will be drawn between the consequences of Brexit and the renewal of the dispute over Scottish sovereignty.
Of course.
Because it's only the start of the process, we're just in the middle of the journey. Then we have Russia, which rose from its knees so hard it cracked its head on the ceiling
Hmm.
in 2022. And another suicide for the second time, you see? I mean, the first time they shot the temporal lobe, but somehow half the brain was blown out, the other half remained. But they decided to knock out the second half too, just to finish the job properly. Well, then I say to myself, okay, never mind. It seems like everyone in Europe has gone crazy here. And then we have America, the leader of the entire Western world, and America suddenly pulls out a bazooka and shoots itself right in the forehead. You see, and against this backdrop, these complex conflicts begin to emerge. Uh, I call them 3 day conflicts because suddenly an empire that itself, as it turns out, is in an extremely fragile and precarious position thinks of itself as wow. But in reality, they're all doing this not because life is good, but because they are deciding to fix their internal affairs through some far flung overseas or cross step military adventures. And fine, never mind all the moral aspects you were asking me about. Forget about the moral aspects. Fine, we've returned to some kind of brutal 18th century. So we've returned. But you see, nothing is working out. I mean, they go in for just 3 days and then get stuck in some far off distant kingdom for 3 or 4 years. And it's totally unclear how to ever get out. And all of this is truly beginning to seem like a never ending Groundhog Day, or even Surkov's Day, if you will, especially since they say he's now giving consultations abroad. So, my personal feeling is that none of these events are merely accidental, but that it is all subject to some more general algorithm of human history. This algorithm suggests that at the turn of the 20th and 21st centuries, this whole world has once again entered into such a powerful and turbulent movement, which, as it previously seemed to us, had sort of slowed down. However, it turns out it hasn't slowed down at all. And all these imperial wars we see today are not accidental, but are clear manifestations of some deep seated internal suicidal essence.